Hello. I'm Greg Davies, and he is
Little Alex Horne. I'm 6'2".
and we are here to play
Slash or
Pass.
Thank you for joining us on Say More. I'm a huge Taskmaster fan. We are huge Taskmaster fans here at Mashable. So we've created a game for you.
great.
And to explain the game, we have a task for you. Who wants to read it?
I'd like Alex to read it.
I'd like Alex to read it.
I'd like Alex to read it.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Greg. Oh, it's lovely paper quality.
Thank you.
You know what GSM that is?
3 or 4.
Yeah.
No real wax seal, I can't help but notice.
No, that's where our budget ended.
It says slash or pass. You will be presented with a series of tasks previously seen on the hit series Taskmaster. For each Taskmaster task presented, you will be tasked to answer whether or not you, Alex Horne and Greg Davies, as contestants, would choose to participate in that task or avoid at all costs.
All right.
Your time starts now.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
All right. First one is an oldie but a goodie. Make this Swedish person blush.
I will do this one. Yes, please.
And I would slash as well.
Yeah.
Great. What is it about this one that you'd be like, yeah?
Well, I should say first up, Fred is a friend of mine. He was the deputy drummer in my band, so I know Fred well. He's a Swedish man, and I just like making him blush in my normal life.
What is a deputy drummer?
When our normal drummer can't make it because of another show.
Oh, got
so
it.
he sits in. And
Is your band the horn section?
yeah. So although he stopped being a drummer, now he's a painter in Sweden. But any chance to see Fred, I would take. And you like making people blush anyway.
I don't know the deputy drummer especially well, but with the right person, I do enjoy making people blush. I enjoy making Alex blush. It's very easy on the show to do that. I just have to make physical contact with him.
Fill this egg cup with your own sweat.
Well, I'd have to go first again. Slash, I'll do that. I don't mind a bit of physical exercise. I like making a little polythene grief cave. Someone did that, I think.
Grief cave. They sort of. What's the second word you're saying?
I'm saying grief, but I can't remember why. But I'm pretty sure the
cape.
Cave.
A cave.
They wrap themselves up in polythene and then try to sweat in it.
Yes.
I love a sauna more than almost anything else.
Oh, just sweating it out.
I love a sauna.
I would slash too, because at the beginning of every record of Taskmaster, a lady has to come out with multiple fans to calm me down. There's something about the beginning of every episode of the show that my system panics until we've settled the horses in the studio. And so for the first 10 minutes, I sweat profusely. So it would be very easy for me to do.
You'll need more than an egg cup. You'll need a vase.
Yeah, I could fill a vase.
So sorry. Vase.
Write and perform a song for a stranger.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a massive slash for me. Would love it.
Yeah. And in fact, I would too. But because there's enough parameters, you're not completely like, oh, what am I going to do? Like, you've got the stranger, you find out the information, write a song. Yeah, the chance to make a silly song and then do it on telly.
We both love writing songs, don't we?
We do.
I love to write a song.
Yeah.
I wrote a song for my friend's child just this very Christmas. Would you like me to sing it?
Yes, I would.
Yes, please.
Big bear, I like to go dancing. Big bear, I like to go woo. Big bear, I like to go dancing. I'm a big bear, now do like I do.
That was amazing. Yeah, because I'm an improv comedian, but for some reason music and like the pressure of like the structure of music stresses me out. So this is something that I would do it, but I would be sweating profusely.
But the good thing about the show is even if you do it badly, that's good.
Well, yeah.
You can't fail in Taskmaster because if you fail, people like that, and if you do it well, you've done it well.
And that's I think what I at least love about the show is that sense of like it's not totally about winning the challenge. It's that comedic idea of like fail and fail again and fail. And if you embrace the failing, you don't even see it as failing. It's just part of the process.
Sometimes the trickiest thing is when all 5 people do something well and you've got nowhere to go. You need someone to.
Yeah, I like to see failure. In many ways, failure is victory. But isn't that life? Big bear, I like to go dancing.
Big bear, I like to go woo.
Physically recreate a classic computer game.
That's one of those things where I don't ever remember seeing any of those elements before. I'm going to pass. I don't like computer games.
No.
And I didn't play them as a kid.
Okay.
So I don't have any references here.
And it seems like I'm copying you here, but that's true for me as well. I was never enchanted by the world of video games.
Mm.
But I like people who were.
Yeah.
Were you, Mark?
I was very specific video games.
Okay.
Like Sonic the Hedgehog, like sports games. But
I really
That's what thing.
yeah.
Oh, that's pre-Sonic.
Oh, yeah.
You're thinking of Daley Thompson.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was on a very basic computer. But I was never... much like sport, I tried to join in with video games because my friends were so into them, but I never got drawn in.
Were you good at sports or?
Absolutely rubbish.
But he can swim like an otter.
My God, I cut through the water. It's hard to believe looking at me. I cut through it.
Speedboat.
I'm also interested in because this Taskmaster, right? It's you create games for people to play within, right? And I do feel like in a lot of cases, like what we do as adults, we find like success in as adults, especially creatively, is a lot what you're doing as a kid. Like, were you creating games like this as a child?
Not creating, but playing. So my family did lots of games. So not yet. I guess half of the show is we wanted people to get up from the chair and do things out in the garden or with their hands and make things, whereas computer games were always a bit sedentary. So yeah, we did a lot of scavenger hunts and, just traditional things like charades and stuff. So yeah, that's probably where it spawned from.
Forge the best Mount Rushmore.
Interesting one.
Yeah.
It feels like we don't talk about politics in this show, but it feels like this has more resonance now than it did when we did it back then.
It's got retrospective edge, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's got retrospective edge. In the same way as one of our series was themed around Russian art, and then things developed over there. So I reckon I'm going to pass this one, if that's all right. I just think it might become more of a statement now than it did then.
Yeah, because in watching this episode sort of later on, I was also watching. I was like, oh, okay, wow. I didn't think they were going to go there on this one.
Yeah,
but yeah, a lot of them went there.
But I think it could be seen as fairly innocent as well. I've always enjoyed. I always enjoyed plasticine as a child.
Yes,
and making faces. So I think maybe I might slash.
All right.
We're going to part company in this one.
Yeah.
Can I watch him slash or not?
I would love. Well,
very different meaning.
Very different meaning. Yes.
That question.
I meant both.
Yeah.
Well, then yes, absolutely.
And 100% you can.
Land the most egg in the frying pan.
No, I'll go first. It's a pass for me because I found it really stressful to watch.
It was so stressful to watch.
Yeah.
And none of them made it, right? Or
none of them made it because Daisy thought she had and it was torn away from her, I think. I'm going to slash. I'll do it.
You think you figured it out?
And these ones, the camera crew and I watched these thinking, just do it this way. And then sometimes we do have a go afterwards. And we didn't on this one because it was so cold. But anyway, I think it's doable and you'd have a huge sense of achievement if you did complete that task.
Oh, 100%. Have the longest telephone conversation without the other person knowing.
It's a pass for me. I find this sort of, the hidden camera element of this where someone isn't in on the joke.
It's slightly on the edge of that, isn't it?
I find it really stressful. I find hidden camera shows really stressful.
There's a bit Impractical Jokers about this, I suppose, which I think is a good program, but it's not our program. I would say also, though, I love telephone tasks. For some reason, I find it really funny when they're coping, because it's only over the phone, it doesn't feel too bad.
Right.
But when we know everything and the person on the other end doesn't, maybe that's mean of me. But I find them funny. But I'll pass as well for doing it.
I just find it stressful, and I couldn't tell you why.
I also find it stressful, and for shows like Impractical Jokers, there are elements of that show I love, and there are also elements of that show that I find too stressful. Or I'm like, okay, they pushed it a little far. But I feel like what the environment that you guys create on your show, it's like it feels safe. Like it feels safe for the people who are doing it, the people who are being affected by it. Even though there are some like elements where you are like coaching them through uncomfortable scenarios and kind of and pimping them into those uncomfortable scenarios, but it feels, I don't know, to me it feels safer and more.
They also get to choose the person they're calling. So there's not
that makes it
not a random stranger.
Yeah.
Yeah, so someone who can take the joke.
Hold a meeting with yourselves. There must be 8 of you. Most dramatic moment wins.
So I will pass on this. So I remember this very well. So this is on a location and it was very hot, unlike the egg place. And these ones we have to film at 8 times. It's painstaking. So they only had a certain amount of time, but we don't move in the cameras. We don't factor into the time. And this took a long time.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that. This was more like actually making a TV program, either like a drama or a movie where you've got to do one angle and then the reverse. And I find that element of television very dull.
It is boring, but I've done quite a lot of narrative acting, and I would like this. I think it might be my chance to do a sort of Eddie Murphy style multiple act thing. Maybe an American, hey, I'm walking here, /.
So this is another divergence where you would do it, no interest.
I feel very self-conscious when I have to act, and Greg nicely says to me sometimes I can act. But I'm not natural.
I think he really can act, and he's talked himself out of being able to do it. But I've seen him act, and he was very natural. So I think he's putting himself down.
Thank you, Greg.
I also think you're putting yourself down.
Thank you, Mark. Anyone else?
But, he's acting on the whole time we're on the show. The idea that he's this sort of fearful, subservient character is an absolute nonsense.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I have a question about that.
It's a real wall breaker when the cameras aren't running.
Well, like because I've seen you guys last night, and I've seen where you guys take the piss out of each other, a lot, and I also know that you guys didn't really meet before the show started, right?
Not a lot. No, we'd come across each other a couple of times, but that's grown over the years.
So
the relationship.
I know that like this style of like taking the piss out of each other type of comedy, especially on camera and on stage, like there needs to be a large level of like respect and like love for each other in order to be able to like really live in that space.
Yeah.
What would you say that like is the thing that you respect most about each other as hosts together?
Well, I can answer.
Mm-hmm.
I think Alex is very good at the sort of yes and philosophy of improvising and talking. He'll go with anything and doesn't try and shut things down.
That's great.
I should do a yes and then, but I'm funny if I don't. I think Greg, genuinely, I can rely on him to, if I say something dry in this situation or in the show, I can normally rely on him to put a punchline in there at the end of it, which is quite a nice feeling as a comedian that I don't have to hit the mark every time.
No. Big bear opposite.
I came into the show, about a year and a half ago, but I feel like within the past year, at least on the American side, like is when the show's really blown up. What do you attribute to this sudden or seemingly sudden massive explosion
in the US?
In the US, yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of factors that have accumulated together. It's accumulation of a lot of factors. One is Jason Mantzoukas.
Sure, the Mantzoukas effect.
And one is similar to Jason Mantzoukas. It's the pandemic.
And in the pandemic, Alex's decision to start putting tasks out for families to join in. And I think it was not that he did it deliberately to exploit the pandemic, of course, but in fact, quite the reverse. He did it to spread a little bit of joy. And I think the uptake of families who were stuck in their houses for weeks on end suddenly had this silly thing to give them a bit of purpose. I think that really caught on over here. We had lots of American families. In their
more than European, but also just YouTube in general. The fact that it's there and there's so much of it there. So if word of mouth travels, they can go back and watch hours and hours of it.
Yeah,
but word of mouth is so important.
Is there anything about the new season or about the show that you want people to know?
Well, I think people know we've released the names, so they know Kumail Nanjiani's in it, and he is very different to Jason, but is so brilliant. And then one of our heroes, Armando Iannucci, is not what you'll expect, and it's been a privilege. And then the other three, I don't want them to get sort of disparaged, but talking about the others too much, but it's Joel, Amy, and Joanna. This is strong.
All brilliant, all quite high profile over in the UK. A lot of them all revealed something about themselves that they or we weren't expecting. And I really loved this season. I thought they gelled brilliantly as a group, and there were, just off the top of my head, Joanna Page, who's in Gavin and Stacey, which is a huge sitcom in the UK. She narrates every aspect of her life. And it's characteristics like that this show seems to reveal. So she walks into a room and tells you that she's just walked into a room and what she'll be doing and how she'll be doing it and what she thinks the potential outcome will be as she's doing things. It's absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, and we've only ever seen her as a comedy actress really before. I think she's got a podcast.
Yeah.
But you'll see a different size to all 5 of them.
The very last thing. What has been the most like surprising thing? And have you like has anything come up on the story that you're like, oh, this would be great for the show?
I mean, the whole thing has been a surprise for us. So the reaction of the audience, but also that the show worked. So we have 3 members of the public doing the show with 2 comedians, which felt quite high risk. And the public have been consistently funny, concise, and confident. So
and just a wall of, every stage we've walked onto has been this wall of enthusiasm and warmth. And I don't think, across all of the shows we've done over here, I don't think I know as much about our show as one member of any of the audiences. They all remember minutiae that has long since been ejected by my old brain.
Yeah.
And I just love it. I love how invested they are in the show and how much they remember about it.
Yeah. My friend who's also a huge fan that I was sitting next to her, and as soon as like you guys came out and like the crowd went nuts, she was like, "They're rock stars." Like,
oh God, it's so.
Wow.
I'm so glad we're the age we are because it could go to your head. As in, this is not normal, and it's just such a thrill, to be later in life and have this little moment of people greeting like that. It's not
unbridled, unembarrassed enthusiasm. It's just in every city I've been to. It's just been wonderful.
It's not the same back home.
yeah, it's
well,
you've unlocked
the UK audiences are great, but it's just
Yes, they are.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, you're right.
I was doing it for your sake.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
But I think that everything's off the. Yeah, there's no holding back here. It's like and we love that.
Yeah.